Hello! So, me and some friends played Candela Obscura, a new tabletop RPG from Critical Role. And it's interesting. You play a set sort of Victorian, Edwardian-ish vibe, and you play a member of an organization who deals with supernatural stuff. Okay, the plot is straight from a Cassandra Clare novel. And I'm going to give some good things. He got the PR package, and I want to say that is beautiful. And I mean that. Like, the PR package is gorgeous. The books are gorgeous. Fake leather. I wish it was real leather. But the books are gorgeous, and we were looking at them. And I also want to say the artwork is really good. Like, I will give credit where credit's due here. The artwork is actually really cool. Not the greatest artwork of this type I've seen, but definitely on that list of cool. But this is where our playthrough descended into giggles, chaos, and many other things. So we sat down and we started playing. And first thing we noticed was the excessively couched language. It reminded me of a PR training manual. And I've had to read many of those in my time. It's extremely couched. It discourages you from playing crazy people, because apparently that's a negative stereotype, which, I'm going to say this, it's fiction. It's fiction. And the whole couch language throughout the thing, it tries to be as I think it was Diversity and Dragon said, a Cthulhu killer, and it's really not. It felt it felt like it was trying too hard to be that, but also be sensitive. And that's the thing. And I watched Explodo Boy, whatever his name is, Eye Patch Guy, do a review of it, and it was so funny watching him. He was trying so hard. I don't know where this sits in terms of anything else. So the rule set is quite basic. It uses six-sided dice, so it doesn't use gaming dice. It just uses six-sided, which is cool. I don't mind that at all. I think that's a good idea with some games. But also, there are parts of this game that feel extremely simplified because of it. And sometimes, I know it's sort of exploration and story based, but it can end up being frustratingly simple in places. You never feel like you are really engaging with it. And we spent 3 hours playing this because we did a full run through. He built this huge adventure, and none of us came out particularly like we're going to play this again. Like I said, the couch language, the very obvious, let's not offend anybody, let's soften the horror type vibe that ran through it. Also, it feels very consequence-free as a game. You never feel like the stakes are particularly high. And that was also a frustrating thing about it. You never felt like these stakes were high. You just kind of went through with it and came out the other side. That was it. So in terms of construction, I think the game is quite basic and very derivative of other games that have been there. I think I think the writers, the team behind it, are trying so hard to find the right audience that it didn't feel like it was necessary half the time. That is a genuine thing. It felt like a very generic, softer, more family-friendly version of games like Call of Cthulhu, with the Cassandra Clare plotline in places. It, like, all of it reminded me, and that's the thing. I say this, I poke fun at Cassandra Clare, but she's a guilty pleasure book of mine. So judge me all you want, but she is definitely a guilty pleasure. Um, I will say, as my friend Andy pointed out, and I want to say thank you to everyone that helped me pull this review together, because this review is based on all of our opinions, not just mine. He said it would be quite easy to port this to another system, very easily. It's very portable, and if you know what you're doing, you could do it easily. But we all felt like, between sort of an oddly condescending tone, which is something I found frustrating with it, to the kind of almost stunted moments. Maybe it was first time play jitters, but there was a lot of times we were playing and just thinking, and we are doing this, why? Often with stories, when you play this kind of dark horror, or attempting to be dark horror, is that you play them, and that's why you're playing them. You want to be on the edge of your seat. You want to be terrified. And this game is not going to give you that from our experience. Maybe if you played it a little differently, but it didn't feel cohesive, it didn't feel particularly strong, and it just felt like a derivative game that we've played 1,000 times, and that's also something else we picked up on. We played it, and we felt like we've been here. We've played this, we've done this. It felt derivative of countless other games that we've played in this genre. And that's what got us frustrated. By the end of it, we were kind of done with it. We were sitting there like, okay, I don't want to play this anymore, let's do something else. And then we went and played Basic Fantasy RPG for 3 hours at 2 o'clock in the morning. Whatever time it was when we finished. It was not a strong game. I think the coach language, I think its need not to offend anybody, and I think its inability to keep you on the edge of your seat, and we would, because his is for a review, he is a content creator himself under a different name somewhere else, and we were playing it, and we all said the same thing. Soft, couched, kind of generic. We've been here before. It didn't do anything particularly new. And I didn't feel like I come out of it feeling particularly satisfied either. I felt more relief to finish the game, which I've never had with a game in this way. I've been relieved that I'm not playing with certain people anymore, but the actual content of everything was, I don't know, it felt like it could have done something amazing. And I felt like if it wasn't for the couch language and kind of the stunted story setting here and there, I think it would have been a lot better. I think it would have been stronger. And I think that it also, this is my opinion and other guys, that we felt like it was holding our hands too much in places. It wasn't actually giving us much else. You know, we play games and we get very dark. We play a lot of old school D&D and Vampire the Masquerade. Older editions, we don't play the new one because it's crap. But we go dark. Like, we play very dark, serious games, and this never felt like that. It never felt moody, it never felt atmospheric, it just one and done, and we'll never revisit it. I think it has potential, but I think its potential is being squashed by the people that wrote it because they're so concerned about offending people, or leaving people scared or, you know, triggering, air quotes, people. Stop holding my hands. Stop telling me I'm treating me like a child. Let me make my own decisions. And that will be good. I also will say I think this is hugely overpriced for the amount of pages you're getting. I think this is quite but then again, a lot of tabletop games now are hugely overpriced. Like, these books are getting ridiculously expensive, and that's a thing. So I know not all of you are going to like this review. I think, just to wrap things up, I will say, if this is your first time playing this type of game, it's a great intro, but that's about it. If you've played this type of game before, I don't think you're going to enjoy this, because you've been here, done it, and got the t-shirt. So, tell me what you think in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.